Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is week 4 of your library class. We have this week and next week, and part of next week we'll have a review, and then you'll have your final exam, okay? So this is week 4. We're going to talk about a topic called plagiarism, okay? And plagiarism is when you use someone else's words, thoughts, or ideas and claim that they are your own, or write your report or a document indicating that this is coming from you rather than you have investigated it from somebody else's writing or you've taken it word for word. Now, I remember in the writing class about 2 semesters ago, I guess, or 3 semesters ago, was a lot of copying and pasting from the internet. You can use copy and paste, but it cannot be your whole report. And when you do that, you need to make a citation, okay? You need to cite a work. What does that mean? Cite a work. It means indicate where or show where the information that you have written has come from. So I'm sure that there have been times when you've been reading and you see a tiny number 1 next to a passage. And then on the bottom of the page, there's a line and a list with information next to another tiny one. That tells the reader that this information was gotten from a site or a book or a newspaper or even a sound recording, anything. And that this is where you can go if you need further information. Additionally, the citation, okay, or when you cite a work, that shows the reader that you did not write that. This was not your idea, that you're discussing this idea and you've gotten information from this source, okay? It is very important not to plagiarize, okay? Remember, again, plagiarism is when you claim that the work that you're submitting is yours, meaning their writing, their ideas, music, you can plagiarize music. So what is the problem with doing this? Well, it's a big problem. Now, in college, the school could issue you a failing grade for the paper. They could also issue you a failing grade for the course. And depending on how severe the plagiarism is, they can expel you, make you leave the college. So it's serious, okay? There are 5 different types of plagiarism, okay? 5. We're going to go over those today so that you are aware of exactly what it means. Like people say, oh, I didn't know I was summarizing what I read. Or another word for that, for summarizing, is paraphrasing, okay? Yes, if you're paraphrasing and summarizing, you still need to credit the source. You still need to show where that information came from, okay? So the first type of plagiarism that we're going to discuss today is called verbatim, verbatim, verbatim. Okay, so verbatim plagiarism is when you copy word for word. That's what verbatim means. It means word for word. So if you go on Google and you find something, if you have to write a report on Abraham Lincoln in the Civil War, and you highlight a passage and you copy and paste into your paper that is verbatim plagiarism, okay? So that's very important. Why? Because you're pretending that what you've copied is yours, okay? You need to put a quotation mark, the two little marks and the two little marks, one at the beginning, one at the end, okay? And then put a little number next to it. If it's the first one, put a 1. If it's the second one, number 2. And then at the bottom, you're going to put the citation. We're going to look at that in a video, so it'll be clearer. The second type is patchwork plagiarism. And that's when you get a whole bunch of books or lots of websites, and you copy an idea from here and one from here, and you take one from here and you take one from there, and you put them all together. Well, certainly you can do that. But every time you cut and paste, or every time you copy exactly what is said, you need to put a little number, a quotation mark in the beginning, and a quotation mark at the end, and say where you got it. So you say to yourself, how do I write the paper then? Well, you can copy this and put it inside your paper. But then you need to analyze. You need to explain. You might compare and contrast the information that you've copied. Then that's your works, okay? Then there's the paraphrasing plagiarizing. And that's the most common type. And that's when you read it and then you start to put it in your own words, and that's okay. But again, since you really weren't in the Civil War, and you really don't have all this information, and you haven't studied about it, and you're just reading an article, and then you're writing your paper, you need to write where the information comes from, okay? Paraphrasing, taking the idea and putting it into your own words. Again, you need to cite it. The next one is global plagiarism. And that's when you take the entire text and claim it as your own. Like, I had a student one time, we had to do a writing assignment on poetry. So what did she do? She found a poem, which was actually very well known, and she turned it in for her homework. And she put the title Footsteps on the top, and she put her name by and her name. That's global plagiarism. She took someone else's poem and claimed it as her own. That's very, very bad. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about citation styles. And then we're going to look at the 2 videos on it. Look, I'm not going to ask you to write a citation. I want you to be aware of what plagiarism is and what you need to do so that you're not accused of it, all right? It's an introduction to it. When a question about plagiarism comes up on your final exam, I'm not going to ask you to list every type. I'm going to ask you what it is, or I want you to recognize the different types. That's all. And you'll have a review sheet anyway. So don't be too concerned that this is going to be a little difficult, because it's not going to be that difficult, okay? So a citation clearly identifies the source of the work, where you can find the information that you're discussing, okay? And again, a citation can be for a book, a magazine, a newspaper, a website, a TV program, a musical recording, a document. It can be from anything, all right? So it's not just for a book, or it's not just for an online site. All citations have certain things in common. Number one, they usually list the author's name, and in one form of citations, they only list the author's last initial and first initial, but it's still author's name, okay? So in a citation, you need to have the author's name. Then you need to have the title of the book, the title of the article, the title of the online article, a title of a song, the title, okay? And then you need to have the publication date. When was it made? When was it published? They also, in many citations, will say place of publication, like New York, and they'll say comma, and maybe they'll say 2001. That would mean the document was published in New York in 2001, okay? Again, I am not going to ask you to write a citation. I just want you to be aware of what it is. And when we look at the videos, you'll see it a little bit more clearly, but I want to explain a little bit first. If you don't include the information that's needed in a citation, it makes it almost impossible for the reader to find additional information, okay? So that's the purpose of the citation. If the reader needs to find more information, they can go to the original source and read some more about it, okay? There are 3 types of citation styles. One is called the APA, American Psychological Association, okay? The second one that's pretty familiar to most people is the MLA, the Modern Language Association. And one is the Chicago Manual of Style. Okay, so the APA is if you're dealing with articles about psychology, education, and health. All right, I'm only telling you so that you can be familiar with this. The MLA, which is the one that most people know, is for languages and literature and humanities and art, like social studies and history, that kind of thing. But like on a school level. The Chicago is more on a historical level, sociology and political science, all right? Just want you to know that there are 3 different ways and different methods that you can use. And so when you give a citation, it's so that you can give credit to the person who created or discovered or developed an idea, okay? So that's why you would write a citation. That's the first thing. The second point is avoiding plagiarism, right? Remember, that's a real serious thing. You could get thrown out of school. And also to provide the source of the information that you're talking about so that someone else can maybe further the idea or learn more about it. And again, the area of study that you're quoting determines which type of citation you're going to use. Okay, so the APA, the MLA, and the Chicago. Okay, so let's just take a look at what is a citation for a minute, okay? Hold on. What is a citation? Reference to a specific work, like a book. And now we have another one, so hold on. So as you can see, right, they showed you exactly what was going on. Hold on. So now we're going to look at something else that helps explain the citation just a little bit more. Give me a minute. It's alphabetical order by the author's last name. Okay, so that gave you a little idea about what kind of citations there are. Again, I only want you to know what it is. I'm sorry, hold on. I only want you to know what it is, okay? What it looks like. That's all you need to know, all right? I'm not going to ask you to do things with it. Now, I want you to look at this next video, which is about libraries and how things work in the library. So take a look at this. And how things are going to, I'm sorry, wait a minute. And how things are going to work. Okay, so let's share this screen. One second. Just give me a second to find this. All right. I think I have it now. Hold on. I'm not finding it. So hold on. Let's see if I can pull up another thing that we're going to do. Ah, I think I have it. Okay, so the second part was about a bibliography, and that is a list of the sources, and that's what they were talking about. What books, magazines, websites did you use? Okay, so in scholarly research, when you're looking up things, when you're learning about a topic, when you're trying to discuss a topic, you need to give credit for where you're getting the information from so that you don't cause plagiarism. And also, when you make a citation, you give credit for a person's thoughts and ideas and writings, but you also allow the reader to know a place to go to read further. The bibliography includes all of the sources that you've cited in the paper, all right? It's just certain things that you need to know. You do not have to know how to write them. You should be aware of what's in them. Again, author's name, title of the publication, title of the book, title of the music, title of the URL for the website, okay? If you're using an encyclopedia, the name of the encyclopedia, the page that you found the article on, and the volume number. You have to be, it's like a little map to take the reader to where they will find the information. Okay, now that's it for today. Next week, we're going to have a short discussion on another part of documenting sources. And then I'm going to do a full review for you for your final exam. And that will be the next week because it is 5 weeks long. Okay. So thanks for coming and listening today. And I'll talk to you soon, and watch for your history video as well. Bye.